Virgo, pause for a moment. Something urgent is moving in your field right now. You're being pulled to this message for a reason. Something in your energy needs attention today. This is not a casual energy day. This is a shift. Building underneath the surface, there's speed, there's pressure, it's undeniable. You may feel restless, you may feel alert, you may feel strangely pulled right now. Trust that instinct. Okay? Your reading today isn't a warning, it's an intervention. Spirit is stepping directly into your path to redirect you, protect you, or accelerate you. As we dive into your cards, you'll see what force is rising and what you need to be aware of, and what empowered move will keep you aligned and in your strength. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set this down right over here with Jimbo, the Lizard King, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments right below the video. Now, as we look around the room, we see major arcana cards. I feel like you are being divinely guided. You are being swept forward by this wonderful star energy, this Fool energy, and this adjustment card. I feel like you've got some wind in your sails right now, okay? There's fire and fire, there's water, water, water. There's no stinking air cards, right? So there really is this kind of, there's no doubt. There's nothing to question, there's nothing to second guess, there's nothing to distrust or to disbelieve. Okay? There's a little bit of earth energy. Let's talk about this Seven of Pentacles. I think you're a very patient person. I feel like you have a kind of devotion about you, right? Where if something isn't working, you're going to work extra hard to make it work, you know? That something it feels like has kind of been delayed. Something it feels like has slowed down for you. In other words, the Seven of Pentacles is, you're expecting to see growth, but there wasn't any yet. Okay? So there may be some frustration that's brewing a little bit. It may even be that you've been kind of reassessing your path right now. Okay? It may be that we're reflecting on this devotion. Okay? This is a card called Failure. And it's a little f, failure. Okay? It may mean that something that you've been working on didn't work the way you wanted it to, but it doesn't mean that the dream is over. It doesn't mean that your idea is not a good idea. It doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path or anything like that. What it means is that we might need a little bit of adjustment. We might need to sort of correct something, tweak something, make a couple little changes here and there, and then it will work. Okay? Because right now, we don't want to get discouraged. But this is something that hasn't grown to the full potential that we thought it could. It may be that progress feels slow. Something needs adjustment, not abandonment. Okay, so we're going to rest, we're going to reflect, and we're going to refine. Don't quit. The delay here is pointing to a better method. Be patient with that timing. Okay. This kind of failure is meant to be feedback. It's meant for us to then refine our approach and kind of give something a little bit more love to find the way through. You know, this is kind of like we're going through the dark, scary forest, and we've gotten stuck somewhere where our movement now is blocked by just a really thick patch of trees or something, you know? And so we're kind of saying, okay, how do I get past this? This is a blockage. This is an obstacle before us. Okay. The counterpart to this, I guess, would be the Seven of Wands, right? Which is us just banging against that obstacle until it falls down. This is the appearance of the obstacle. Okay. Your movement has been blocked. The growth has been stopped for now. It doesn't mean you're on the wrong road. It means we need to figure out how to get through this obstacle. This is just a puzzle that needs to be solved. And the way you're going to solve it seems to be with love, with warmth, with comfort, okay? With a gentle and affectionate kind of approach, okay? This is emotional ease. And I wonder if this is that sort of injunction by Spirit, that intervention that just says, don't be reactive to this. Because let's say without the Six of Cups, what do we have? Well, we've got an obstacle, and then I'm just going to bang it with something. I'm just going to hit it with a hammer. I wonder if Spirit's saying, no, don't do anything yet. It's kind of like Spirit's jumping in because Spirit knows that this is really going to be, this is frustrating, And so Spirit's coming and saying, let's just take a break. Let's walk away. Let's go have a soda pop, and let's take a bath. Let's relax. Let's get something to eat. Let's watch some TV. Okay? Let's do something familiar or something comfortable to help us settle down. Okay? Because this is going to help us then to sort of let all that frustrated energy go. So that when we do return to this problem, we'll have a very practical and wise strategy. Or even, maybe not strategic, maybe it's more tactical. We'll have the right tactic. But without this, this is literally like Spirit's like holding you back, like grabbing your backpack and saying, no, don't do that. Don't rush that way. Okay, let's go cool off. Kind of got their arm around you, patting you on the back. Let's go find a place to sit. Let's go find some shade. Let's go sit down. Let's go relax. Rather than just reacting to something. And this is, to me, feels like something familiar. It's people, it's support. It's like lean on your community. Let your friend kind of put their arm around you and guide you to, a glass of water or something, or like sit down somewhere in a cool place. Yeah. Or even come inside. Let's go sit down by the fire. Let's rest a while before we go back to that. Okay. Something comforting. Allow yourself to be comforted so that we can settle. And then when we come back to this failure, little f failure, we'll have a clear heart, clear mind, and we'll be able to tackle it. Okay? It's kind of like Spirit, maybe Spirit knows that this is not the first time that this has happened, but this is the time where you're just like, I'm frustrated, I've had enough. This is one too many times. This is you getting thrown down on the mat. Like a jiu-jitsu or something, right? Get thrown down on the mat. It happens one more time, right? And you're kind of gonna come unglued a little bit. And you're gonna say, I quit. Or it's just, you're gonna have some sort of emotional reaction. And so Spirit's coming and saying, let's just take a break. Let's go do something comfortable. Let's go get a bite to eat. Let's relax. Let's talk about it. Allow yourself to be comforted right now, because that's going to help you settle. Okay? Now we have this Fool underneath you. And the Fool may really be just simply embarrassment. It may simply be that here inside you're kind of feeling like I got confronted with this obstacle, and now I'm just like, I'm a little bit embarrassed. I kind of feel foolish. Okay? It's kind of like you feel like a fool because you sort of trusted your instinct, and you took a leap of faith, and you started something, and you did something that was spontaneous and adventurous, and then you got knocked down on the mat. To me, it feels we got a little egg on our face. We feel a little bit embarrassed, and that's okay. It does not mean that this was the wrong path. See, this is a new self. This is a new version of you. This is the ultimate, like, white belt, you know. You're supposed to fail. Thing is, we want to fail forward. We don't want to let our failures frustrate us to the point that we just quit, or we give up, or we smash our toys. Okay? So, remove the expectation from this. The Fool is saying, okay, look, my first day at jiu-jitsu, I expect to really make a fool of myself. You know, I have never done this before. I fully expect to be, you know, completely just, you know, tossed around by this thing. I'm just going to be a feather in the wind. I have no sense of direction. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know my balance yet. I haven't gotten the hang of it. Okay. And maybe it's kind of like I said before, maybe it's like this is a few times now that this has happened, and you keep getting thrown down on the mat, and that's why Spirit's coming in and saying, let's just go take a break before you do something that you'll regret. I don't know what your situation is, if it's at the workplace, if it's at home, at school, if it's about a relationship, or about a skill or a sport or a martial art that you're trying to learn, or about an art project that you're trying to complete, or about some money you're trying to make, or something like this, okay? But I feel like there is just this self-conscious. I just feel self-conscious about it, okay? But this is exactly where you're supposed to be right now, because you're experimenting, because you're figuring it out. You're getting your sea legs. You're adapting to this new thing. You're trusting in the step. You're trusting in the process. You're trying not to put too much expectation on yourself. Okay? We have a star card in the background here. This is that inspiration. This is the why. Okay? And the star is here to say that, look, you've been directed toward this scenario, or this, event, or this circumstance, or this environment, or this skill, or this path. Because the star card shows you your yellow brick road, shows you the path, shows you the spiral road that you're supposed to walk, that you're supposed to travel to fulfill your potential, shows you your destiny. Okay? And this is you really trusting that inspiration. And the Fool is that ultimate sort of trust, you know. You did a trust fall with the universe here. It's okay, I'm going to do it. And when we first do it, we're bad at it. And then we feel like, I'm getting really frustrated with being so bad at this. It's still your destiny. It is still your dream. Just because something didn't work yet, it doesn't mean that the dream is wrong. It just means that we need to make some adjustments. We need to get over our emotion so that I can look at it with higher wisdom and discernment and figure out what my tactic is now. Okay? So I feel like this is a situation that's really showing you where your weak spots and sore spots and buttons and triggers and knots of karma are. Showing you kind of what you do need to work on. Well, if I keep getting shown the floor, I'm going to get mad. You know, it's like, I can feel the frustration. We keep getting shown that same button or trigger. It's like you're in jiu-jitsu, let's say, or anything, any kind of a martial art, or even learning an instrument. You're learning something difficult. Every time you get to the G sharp chord or whatever, like, you mess up. Spirit, that's the process. That is Spirit showing you where you need to put in more work. Every time I get to that point of the song, every time I get to the G sharp, I screw up. Well, that's telling you where you really need to focus your efforts. But you keep messing up at the G sharp, and it's just like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to just snap my guitar in half, I guess you're really strong. You're just going to break it over your knee. No. That's why Spirit's saying, go take a break. Go have some ice cream or something. Go relax. Go watch some TV. Go do something else, and then come back to it. Because the process, by its very nature, is going to show you where you need to do the most work. Whether this is a relationship or a job or career or skill or studies, schoolwork, whatever it is. That's the star card. Okay? But there's been inspiration here. You've received that divine guidance that's saying this is the path. This is where you're supposed to be. Something in life has guided you here. Don't let your frustration sort of take you away from that path, okay? And now up above, you have here the adjustment card, balance. This is correction, okay? So you're somebody, I feel like you're kind of a perfectionist. And maybe that's a little bit too on the nose for Virgo. But I feel like you don't like not being good at something. If you're going to do something, you want to go in already being good at it. But it doesn't always work that way. So this is you being very fair with yourself. Being reasonable. Okay, and saying, I can't put those expectations on myself. I can't expect myself to be perfect. I have to allow myself to go in and say, okay, I'm completely green. I'm the greenhorn. I'm the white belt. I don't know exactly how this is supposed to go. I'm learning. At the same time, the justice or adjustment card is about you taking responsibility where you need to. It could be, okay, I screwed up. I keep getting to that G-sharp chord and my finger moves the wrong way. That's nobody's fault but my own and my finger, So I can correct that. And it just means I need to put my fiery attention of my will on that particular chord and practice that one maybe specifically. I don't know how to do it. I don't play guitar. I don't even know if there is a G-sharp chord on a guitar, but I imagine there is somewhere. But that's the one that you've got to focus on because you can correct it. Okay? And you're weighing your next move, your tactic. You're figuring out your tactic carefully, not emotionally. But first you got to be honest with yourself. You got to tell yourself the truth. Okay, I made a mistake with the G-sharp chord. I need to fix that. I got thrown down on the mat too many times because I keep I keep leading with the wrong foot or something. That's nobody's fault, right? It's just my foot goes forward the wrong way, and I need to be more mindful of that so I can correct that. Because that's part of the technique. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing intrinsically bad about your foot. It's just it did the wrong thing in that context. Okay? But now having this kind of precision and wanting to do things the right way and having a little bit of that perfectionist vibe or a little bit being a little bit critical of our performance. Maybe the Seven of Pentacles really isn't even that much of a failure. Maybe it's actually, you did really, really good, but you're looking at it as like it's I failed. Maybe Spirit's trying to say, no, you did a great job. Considering your current skill level, you did absolutely amazing, probably better than most people at your skill level. But you're looking at it as being complete and utter failure. Spirit's saying, let yourself be consoled here. Let yourself be comforted. You didn't fail as much as you thought you did. For your particular level, where most people would be at your stage, you're doing way better than expected, okay? But you have perhaps unfair expectations of yourself. So balance, anyway. A continuous act of correction. If something didn't quite work out the way you wanted to, we readjust, we recalibrate, we realign. We do it gently. This is that wisdom and discernment that knows how to do that. This, of course, is you doing that. The Two of Wands here as the next step, as the way forward for you. This is power. This is strength, you know. This is you taking control and saying, I keep messing my finger up on the G sharp. I need to focus my will, fire, my vision, my eyes on that finger. I need to look at it more closely. That's what a failure is supposed to do. Failures are good because they show you where your eyes should be looking. If you make a mistake, good, it's a blessing. Say, thank you, universe, for showing me this mistake. Because now I know where I'm supposed to put in effort. So you're ready to take control of a situation with confidence. And you're deciding what step to take, what your tactic is, and you're doing it. You're not apologizing. You're improving something, whether it's a relationship or whether it's your skill, or whether it's something at work or your finance, whatever it is. Physical performance or even mental performance, whatever it is. It's a blessing when you get one of the math problems wrong, right? Because then it's kind of showing you, okay, well, I guess I need to work on my quadratic equations or my logarithms, or I don't know what any of that stuff means. It's a blessing, you know. But you don't want to be aggressive, and that's why Spirit had to kind of give us that time out. Because we want to use a calm confidence. This is Mars in Aries. Mars has a tendency to just smash things down. Didn't work out, just smash it. Okay. We got to channel that into using that energy, that frustration, that force and fire, using that into, I'm going to practice that G-sharp chord until I can do it in my sleep. And we're going to turn that weakness into a strength rather than just letting it get the best of us and we smash the toys. But the adjustment card is us taking accountability. Okay? We do sometimes, we don't have to apologize for making a mistake. I mean, depending on the situation, right? If we make a mistake in a relationship, we might want to say, I'm sorry, I screwed up. Let me fix it. What can we do? Let's work on it. But if you're at jiu-jitsu and you get thrown down on the mat because you put your wrong foot forward, are you going to get up and say, oh, I'm sorry? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't, right? You don't have to apologize for being the student that I'm supposed to fall down. Falling down, getting thrown down on the mat, making a mistake and falling down is what I'm supposed to do. Because that's what it means to learn, to grow, and to develop. So depending on your circumstances, right? I want that to be understood. Now I want you also to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. These readings are totally free. Yeah. Your general energy now is the 9 of Cups. Happiness. Fulfillment. Right? This is a card of joy. This is a card of contentment. This is the card of being very satisfied, being emotionally stable, being very pleased. This is you enjoying your progress. Because, yeah, you've obviously earned it. You've failed forward, and that's giving you a lot of rewards. It feels good. It doesn't feel good to fall down off the mat or fall down on the floor, It doesn't even really feel good to get up again. What feels good is to know that I've grown, that I've gotten through that obstacle, not by just smashing it, but by realizing the truth of it and making a conscious effort to improve in that particular way and using my energy constructively. Progress feels like bliss. Okay? And now I feel like you're really moving into more flow and more ease, and it's just starting, the pleasure of this thing is starting to feel better and better and better. You're not going to dull your joy with guilt here. And maybe this is just really like an optimism or learning to enjoy the journey. Fails are fun, right? We have one of our angel number cards that says fails are fun. I don't know if I'd go that far. But improving is fun. Growing is fun. Feeling the reward, feeling the immediate dopamine kickback for what we're doing, that's fun. This to me is kind of that dopamine card. Well, a lot of the water cards are either dopamine or serotonin. I think this is the dopamine thing here. When you see a challenge and you overcome that challenge, you know, when you finally get the hang of the G sharp chord or whatever, it feels good. You get a hit. You get a rush. Okay? And this happiness is going to grow, and you got to allow yourself to feel this. Enjoy the sweetness, right? Because you deserve that. This is the way the journey is supposed to feel. Happiness is not a distraction. Happiness is the journey. Happiness is the path when it's working. Smashing the toys, that's not going to feel right. That's not going to feel happy. You're not going to feel good about that. Controlling yourself, channeling yourself into more effort and doing the right thing with your discernment and coming back with this tactical approach and nailing it, that's going to feel good. Okay? That's a big win. That's a really big win. Okay? And now in the environment you have, of course, the lust card or the strength card is exactly what we've been talking about. Because, you know, unbridled fire is just going to destroy everything. Right? We've got to get control of the impulses. We've got to get control of the passions. Right? Because this is the passion that can either, you know, destroy or can create. Yeah. So this is you know, channeling your fire. Channeling your strength with courage. Not with fear, not holding yourself back either. Because I think, you know, maybe like two things could happen here. The fool, with that embarrassment, could perhaps just get angry and smash the toys. Or the fool could get embarrassed and just slowly shrink away. Slowly shrink away, and then our lion here becomes just a little scaredy cat, right? We deflate, we lose our mojo. We lose our confidence, and we just feel small. We feel restricted, constricted. Okay? This card really is about building up our stature, owning the space that we're taking up. You're taking up a 2x2 square on the jiu-jitsu mat, and you deserve to be there. You know, taking up space in the universe and feeling like I deserve this, I own this space. Not with some kind of like ego, like cockiness. No, not arrogance. But confidence, yeah. Courage, yeah. Confidence is not saying, no one can beat me, I'm never going to get thrown down on the mat. That's not confidence. That's arrogance. Confidence is saying, regardless of how many times I get thrown down, I'm going to get back up, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, I'm going to do my best. That if I get thrown down on the mat, I'm not going to become unhinged and smash my toys, and I'm not going to shrink away and cower away from this either. I'm going to take care of business. I'm going to do what needs to be done. That is confidence. Confidence doesn't always need a roar. Sometimes confidence is just a quiet, I'm going to try again. I don't need to be loud. What I need to be is focused. I need to be wise, I need to be discerning, I need to be honest, and I need to pay attention. And I need to really have a desire to learn and to grow. You got to trust that desire. Okay? Because it's strength. And it's safe for you to be courageous and be bold. Because, if you weren't, you wouldn't really be doing anything. You've got to be courageous. Why do you need courage? Well, because you might fail. Being bold and being courageous is saying it's safe to maybe fail sometimes. Not maybe, you will. Because you're doing something that's challenging. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this card here. You're being bold, you're being assertive, you're taking risks, you're being brave and courageous, which means you're going to fall down. It's all about how you handle that. That really determines your energy and your future. And I think this is going to be, this failure, what you're seeing as being a Seven of Pentacles failure, is going to be the biggest win of your life. The biggest win of your life. And you're meant to fail. Okay? Now we also have the Queen of Cups here. And to me, this is it. This is the really the important card, because this is in the position of your fear, worry, and concern. The fear here is that this failure or this upset, this perhaps embarrassment or whatever, is going to linger with you for a long time, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get over that. See, the Queen of Pentacles is trying to process through their feelings, trying to process through their emotion. Okay? And this is kind of the issue, because it feels like the longer we wait, the longer it takes us to process through our feelings, the less likely it is that we're ever going to get back on the horse and kind of get back to that, So yeah, we sort of, we might need to take a break, walk away for a minute to just kind of regroup and go just take a breather, get a glass of water, whatever. But then we come back. Because if we just do this water here and we leave and we go watch TV and we go just, we comfort ourselves, or we take comfort with other people and we lean on our support system, there is a risk that we'll never go back. Because this is the energy that says, it's okay to quit. It's okay. Yeah, you fell down. This is like, the way the parent might treat the child. I'm sorry that you fell down. That's terrible. That's awful. I never want you to feel that again. Come on, let's leave. Let's go get some ice cream. We'll never go back to that bad place. And that's kind of our instinct. That's what we want to do for other people and for ourselves too. Right? Because we feel like that's how we care about ourselves. We think of the opposite of that, where it's just like, you're fine, get back in the ring. We don't want to treat ourselves that way either. And that's the Queen of Wands. So you got both of these. And I think somewhere in between is the right way to go. Because the Queen of Cups is lingering for a long time, processing what happened. Processing this event. We're sitting out on the sidelines for a long time. We might not ever go back to the mat or to the ring or back to the guitar or back to the relationship. All right? Because we're processing the ending, and it's just such a slow process that we're never going to be done. So we're never going to go back. However, the Queen of Wands is saying, it doesn't bother me. I'm not bothered. Let's go again. That might be a little bit too quick. Too slow, too fast. What we need is balance between the two. We need to take enough time, process how we feel, calm ourselves down, then we need so that we can think about, okay, what happened, how did it happen, process it, and then go right back to it. So we don't want it to be too slow, but we don't want to rush the process either, because here we're not feeling our feelings. Okay? We're pushing them down. We're suppressing our feelings. That can be explosive later on. And we're also not taking the time to understand what went wrong and how do I not make the same mistake again for the nth time. So we don't need either of these, really. We need a balance between them. Yeah, let's look at the mystery card. What is the balance between fire and water? Well, maybe the Temperance card, yeah? Temperance. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Four of Cups. Four of Cups is us pouting. It's us feeling embarrassed, and we're going off into the corner, and we're just sitting like this. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to feel it. It's just like, come on, let's get it out. Let's talk about it. Let's feel it. Let's shake it out of your body and get back to the mat. Get back to the ring. Get back to the guitar. So this is kind of like, this is where you're not doing this or this. Because I said, well, we don't want to do this extreme. We don't want this extreme. We want something in the middle. This is kind of like refusing to do any of it. This is us closed off. We're locked in. This is like your friend tries to come and say, hey, let's go take a walk outside, Rook. And you're saying, no, I just want to sit here and pout. Okay. And trust me, we all do this. So I think we need to be in our higher wisdom and our higher discernment right now. And we need to do the right thing. We need to say, okay, fine. This is how I feel. I'm going to let my feelings out. I'm going to shake it out. And I'm going to figure out kind of how to come back and do the right thing or whatever, or figure out my tactic. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it. We don't want to just be kind of frozen and locked up, you know. We don't want to shut down. We don't want to smash the toy. We don't want to retreat. We don't want to shut down. So, you know, there's kind of the right passage here for you, and I feel like we've explored that. Now let's explore the extended reading. All right, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.